Hey, welcome to March, everybody. Can you believe it? March 1st, 2010 is upon us. Mark Wilson with your webcam, yournews.com. Another big week. I cannot believe we're in March already. Don't get too cocky, people, and it'll get a little bit warmer this week. And glad to have that February gone. But I saw Chuck Gaidica say it. Our worst snowfalls come in March and April. So, don't be thinking we're on a smooth path here all the way to summertime. Got a long way to go before that happens. Check out the piece today. It's all about the whole Winter Olympic thing is now over. The closing ceremonies were kind of fun in Canada. Canada kind of shined, I thought. Vancouver was terrific, but it's a great city anyhow, despite the early weather problems and, of course, the tragedy early on. Canada came through with shining colors, and, of course, it was all punctuated by that terrific Canada victory over USA in hockey 3-2. In overtime, who else but Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, Mr. Perfect. Mr. Nova Scotia had to go and ruin the day for Ryan Miller and the Americans. Brian Rafalski. Rafalski was pretty key in allowing that goal to happen, even though he had a very good Olympic Games, and Mike Babcock should take notice of Brian Rafalski's offensive punch. But that aside, as they return to the NHL this week, in fact, the trade deadline comes up in a couple of days, Canada got what they wanted. They won gold medals for a change. That did not happen 22 years ago in Calgary. So they finally got that schneid done with, that monkey off the back. And there was just, I first thought that the Olympic Games would be kind of a drag. It was kind of a bummer deal, but they turned out to just be terrific. I thought there was a lot of fun and everything, from biathlon to the skeleton to the shushing down the mount to snowboarding to Lindsey Vonn to Julia Mancuso and all the in between, all the people in between there. The ice dancing, of course, and how Michigan played a part in that. Canton, the club out in Canton. Davis and White and the rest of them, and how the women finished up and the men finished up. Just terrific stuff, actually. Actually gonna, maybe miss it a little bit. I even wrote the piece today, said, Jay Leno's back now in the Tonight Show. That starts tonight. Leno's back. We haven't seen that whole Leno-Conan thing for the last 2 weeks. But Jay returns to the Tonight Show now that NBC is done with the games. I thought they did a good job. I mean, you could have, the Tom Brokaw piece on Saturday on Gander, the community in Newfoundland that really helped out after 9/11, the Americans, when that happened in New York City, was really a fascinating piece. If you didn't get the chance to see it, I hope it's somewhere. I hope NBC has that somewhere where you can look at that. But it was a long piece by Brokaw. I saw it on Saturday, so check that out if you get a chance. But also the piece today, all about the game yesterday and how it all, how the Canadian thing all shaped up and how the Olympics finally finished up, and now we're back to normal stuff. Resume regular junk now. Resume your regular garbage now because the Olympics are over. Other stuff in the piece today, Michigan State kind of got overshadowed, obviously, by the hockey and Canada's big win for gold medal. By the way, the Americans won the whole thing, at least medal count. 37 medals over the Germans. Give it up. Michigan State also give it up. Went to Purdue, West Lafayette, Indiana, Mackey Arena, and did a nice job on the Boilermakers. Purdue without their star player, now Robbie Hummel, out with the busted knee. But you got to play over it, Matt Painter knows that too from Purdue. And Tom Izzo not happy with his team's play. Not happy when Kalen Lucas has as many turnovers as points. He had 8 on both sides of that. Rambar Morgan came through with 16 and 11 boards. And that's why number 3, Purdue fell to Michigan State at home. So it kind of avenges the loss that Spartans had to Purdue at Breslin. So now we got a little bit of 2 games to go here. You got a little something in the Big Ten with all 3 teams with 4 losses: Ohio State, Purdue, and Michigan State. So MSU has Penn State and Michigan to finish the season. Win those 2 games, and you're guaranteed, I believe, at least a share of the regular season title before the Big Ten tournament next week. So good stuff, even though Izzo didn't think so. Holding Purdue to 44 points was pretty cool. And just 16 in the second half. On the road. I know Tom doesn't like to give him any credit at all, but that was on the road. 1, 2, and 3 all lost. Kansas, Kentucky, and Purdue. It would make sense that Syracuse is number 1 in the country today. Jim Boeheim, I'm still shocked that he's been there 34 years already with the Orangemen, but they're 25-2 and keep winning. So they should be number 1 in the country. They were number 4, and the other 3 lost. It only makes sense that Syracuse gets them out at number 1. Michigan State's women's team was kind of cool yesterday. They played at Breslin in front of over 7,000 fans. They finished 2nd in the Big Ten, starting their tournament this week on Thursday in Indianapolis. Regular season title goes to Ohio State, but Alyssa DeHaan, Lauren H., and the rest of the seniors got to kiss the S on the floor, kiss the S. Good for Alyssa. I can't believe her time is already up. 6'9" from the other side of the state, there, west side of the state. And Lauren H., Aitch is her name. If you don't know who Lauren is, her dad played at Michigan State. Matt H., terrific guy, great Spartan. Was there in the 60s, was a Pistons draft pick back in 67, played, I think, 1 year in the ABA, never played in the NBA. But Matthew H. Passed away a couple years ago. I think it was actually 3 now. April of 2007. Knew him well. And he would have loved seeing his daughter kiss the S, playing for Michigan State at Breslin yesterday, on Sunday. So good for the MSU women. They will move on, as I said, to the Big Ten tournament Thursday at Conseco Fieldhouse. And you can read about that a little bit. And the Tigers open tomorrow. Baseball, baby. Here we go. Tigers open against Florida Southern University, playing the old college clash. Always open against Florida Southern every year. Their first regular Grapefruit League game will come against the Blue Jays in Dunedin on Wednesday. And then they'll be back at Lakeland for the first Grapefruit League game at home, if you will, in Lakeland, on Thursday against Toronto. So Florida Southern first tomorrow, and then the Blue Jays back-to-back games, home and home, with them to get the spring game started. Jim Leland can't wait to see some of the young pitchers. Can't wait to see how guys react. Can't wait to see some actual live baseball. Get the schneid off there, too, since that game with the Twins in October. It seems like it's been festering, just sitting there waiting for a game to happen. So at least that'll happen tomorrow. So there you go. It's all there for you. The USA's lost to Canada in the gold medal game. Very exciting overtime win. Of course, Sidney Crosby, Mr. Perfecto, Mr. Penguin, Mr. Stanley Cup. Got the game winner against Michigan State's Ryan Miller. You can read about that. Michigan State's win over Purdue at Mackey Arena. The 1, 2, and 3 all falling in college basketball this week. Michigan State women's team finishing second in the conference. And the Tigers opening the spring games unofficially tomorrow, officially on Wednesday. It's for you there on the Park on Demand page at yournews.com as we hit March 1st, 2010.